How I built 7 multiple streams of income. In this video, I'm going to share with you how I built them, why 7, I actually have a few more now, why you need multiple streams of income, and the number one mistake most people make because they don't understand multiple streams of income. They get it confused, they tangle it all up. We'll talk about that at the end of the video, so stay tuned. So the 3 things I want to talk about is number 1, financial security. I call it Financial Freedom Day. Like, when do you get there and why is that so important? Number 2, I want to talk about just general wealth building and how you start structuring that. And then how do you start planning for future cash flow? So when you want to quit your job or be done with your entrepreneurial venture, whether you're just going to like phase it out, sell it, there's all sorts of ways to end it. How do you make sure that you have enough cash flow till later in life? So let's begin. Get a pen and paper. So financial security is number 1. I call it Financial Freedom Day. So it's that day where you have enough money coming from other sources of income that it at least pays your daily, your regular expenses, and everything else is to wealth building. So you can define what Financial Freedom Day means to you. A lot of times it's enough cash flow, just to kind of handle your monthly nut, whatever that is, what your monthly expenses are. But financial freedom is something that very few people teach, very few people take seriously until they're in their 50s and 60s. They have a panic attack and go, oh my gosh, I didn't save enough, I didn't put enough away, I didn't invest enough. So let's take this seriously now. And what does it mean to you to have financial security? And I'd love to know, put it in the comments below. Like, what does it mean? And what is your definition of being financially free? So the reason this is so challenging for most people is we are taught in worldwide to be employees. We're a worker lifestyle, world. And it's not just a United States problem, right? You go to school, you get a good job, you get your 401k, and that whole thing's supposed to work out. Now, we've had a few like big hits at that, 2008, 9, 10. Should have woke you up, could have, maybe should have, but didn't. And then, my gosh, if the pandemic did not wake you up, by the way, the day we're recording this, which is March 10th, 2022. 2 years ago today, the world shut down. This was the announcement that every country in the world shut down 2 years ago. And that should have woke you up to financial security is right here. It's here, it's what you do for yourself. Do you know how many people were unemployed that day? Just gone. I mean, just recently, and I won't name the companies because they're big publicly traded companies, they just wiped out half of their workforce and said, we're done. We're not going to do this anymore. We're not going to have plants. We're not going to have retail. We're going all online, and just overnight, thousands of people lose their job. So when you think that your job is financial security, you're wrong. It's totally not, because it's not at your command. So I'm not saying go out and quit your job and jump out of your job, but I am saying there's something that you need to do to create an entrepreneurial venture, to live corporate life. All wealth builders, all millionaires live inside corporate structure, meaning their income is made inside of a company. So when I said I have 7 streams of income, more really today, but I built 7 originally very intentionally. Those were 7 different companies, 7 different revenue streams. They had a tie though. My first 7 were in real estate. So in 1999, not only did I have a real estate business, very active, buying and selling. I had a construction company, keep going. I had a staging company. I had the cleaning company. We had the property management company. And then 2008, 9, 10, we added more revenue streams. Notice they're all in the same category. We added landscaping and hauling away junk. Do you know how much 1-800 got junk makes? They make it on weight. To empty a house in 2008, 9, 10, when houses were just being like basically keys put in the mailbox and said, I'm out, I'm not going to pay anymore. I mean, the amount of pickup that we had, all of those things went together. We cleaned out the house, we cleaned up the landscaping, we cleaned up the pool as part of our landscaping, and we took money everywhere. So we had cash flow in 7 different businesses, right? 7 different spaces. So that's one way to do it, and it's all in one. The other way to do it is truly to break into different industries, right? So I'm also a millionaire in the author, speaker, right? That whole space. I have online revenues. So that's a whole space. What I don't want you to do, and I'm going to go into the big mistake later in the video, but I just want to preface it a little bit right now. You don't want to have what I call the hodgepodge business plan. You don't want to have a coaching thing here, direct sales company here. You do some landscaping here, maybe some interior design. Like you can't have a whole bunch of things that don't go together. Not in the beginning. In the beginning, you have a database build. So if you're thinking about who's going to follow you, right? Who follows Loral Langemeier? People who want to know about money. And so that's a huge category. I can go in a lot of places, but it's been 20 plus years that I've been doing this. In the beginning, they got to follow you for one thing. They're not going to follow you because you're in Mary Kay you're an interior designer, you do a little landscaping, and you do tutoring on the side. Like none of that goes together. Very little of that goes together to build one database. So when I talk about multiple streams of income, I'm talking about different entities that provide cash flow in different ways for you and your family. Because we're trained to be employees and live employee life, not corporate life, not live inside that LLC. The transition for a lot of you that are listening is really new, and it's challenging because you're not taught to be an entrepreneur. So pick something simple in the beginning, pick a first stream of income, and then add another. Maybe what you do is you pick the next, I'd say every 6 months you could add a stream, maybe a year. I just don't want this to last 7 years. My millionaire planning is 3 to 5 years, right? You gave some college or university institute probably 4 years of their life. Those of you that have master's degrees, you gave it more than that. I want 3 to 5 years as my promise to make you a millionaire. So maybe every 6 months we add a stream of revenue. Why? You want that financial freedom. And as you make it, you have to learn to invest it and put it away. So now let's talk about some wealth building principles. So in wealth building, again, you have different entities. You might have your own like LLC to just for investments. You might have a Roth IRA, which is my favorite vehicle for digital currency investing because it can grow tax-free, tax-deferred. Can you imagine if you bought Bitcoin, under 1,000? I bought it at 4 and it ran to 64 inside my Roth. Sold a bunch off, got back in at a lower price and went again. Is there a constant churn inside that Roth that you can grow tax-free? You can become a millionaire just in your Roth IRA. So as you think about wealth building, you want to think, how much money am I making actively and putting into investments that produce passive income? Because the passive income is another income stream. You get to decide on the rules, whether it's active or passive income. Let me talk about passive income in its pure form. It really doesn't exist. Even in the stock market, you're interacting or should be with the person, that's doing it with you, or at least with the app that we have. You'll be actively looking, at least on a monthly basis. You need to be actively looking at your investments. If you had a piece of real estate, and you said, well, it's just passive. Really? You probably have a property management company. Or my favorite are when fix and flippers say that they're in passive. There's nothing passive about rehabbing a house. Nothing passive, unless all you are is money. But even then, you need to manage it. So I came up with a word early in my career called Pactive. It means it's passive to you, but you still need to stay actively engaged in the result, managing the team and overseeing the projects if you're going to be in the alternatives. So wealth building is critical on this pathway to getting 7 streams of income. Some of them can be passive, some of them will be active. Up to you how you want to craft it. I'd love to mentor and coach you in it. Before I go to the final technique that I want to talk about, I want you to subscribe to my channel. Subscribe, hit the notification button. My request is that you're out here at least for 1 year. I want 1 year of your life, 5 days a week, 10 to 12 minutes a day, to teach you financial literacy principles, and then engage further, and let's get this in your life for real, not just concepts. So as you plan for future cash flow, you do have to look further out and say, what's it going to take? What's the lifestyle I want to live? Now, traditional financial planning drives me crazy because it's bell curve. They say you have all this like high income earning years, and then you're going to live smaller as you get older. Why? Why would you live smaller? I just want a bigger asset class. I may right size to a smaller house than raising my kids and having a huge estate, but I don't know, I kind of like it. So that's up to you, but how much do you need? You're going to have to come up with a number. Is it $10,000 a month, $20,000 a month, $50,000 a month? Some of you have $100,000 a month lifestyles, and you've got to plan for it. So these income sources are going to have to work together. Now, one technique in planning future cash flow that very few people tell you about is really being your own bank. So when you have an active business that's making a lot of money, that company can actually loan money to another company that you own or your trusts own, and that can then start again. And it can loan money, and it can loan money. So there's a huge be your own bank strategy in planning future cash flow. And when you do life insurance right, banking level life insurance, you can have cash flow planned for the next 15, 20 years that actually will nail it. Not hope you make it, you can nail it. It's actually just a formula. It's a math equation. So let us help you. And the way we want to do that is start with my financial personality quiz. So take my quiz. It's going to put you into one of my 4 profiles. And then once you get that profile, we're going to send back to you an application to meet with one of our team members. And on this application specifically, we will have entities, trusts, insurance, which are all part of this planning. And you can just write on there, I want to meet with these individual teammates. We'll get you right over to them, and let's begin. It's really important that you start this planning of multiple streams of income for future cash flow, and your financial freedom day. I don't use the word retirement. Retirement's actually an agricultural word. It means to put cattle to pasture to die. So you're not ever going to retire. We're going to have freedom. I'll talk to you tomorrow.